So, welcome. Last game was a lot more player driven than it was DM driven. So, I believe you are muted, M.
I am muted, and it's okay.
You were saying?
Oh, I said that's totally dope as hell.
Yeah, I really loved it, and I thought it was one of the best sessions that we've had, like, to date. And instead of doing the recap myself, I think what we should do is have Jen and Jeff kind of together talk a little bit about their scene, which happened near the beginning of game, and then we can have Olivia and M talk for a little bit about their scene, which happened near the end of the game. Because both of those were incredible, and I think you all will be able to do a better job than me of talking about them. But I'll jump in where necessary. So let's start with Calder and Kretha. Jen and Jeff, what were you two up to last game?
I am but a humble craft, buffeted at the sea, buffeted by the winds of stupidity that surround me. That's how Calder feels anyway. I thought it was fun. But basically, go ahead, Jen.
It was definitely something because Calder is very, very, very upset. Kretha is just like, what are you all doing? I don't understand. And Meepo is like, let's open this door, and let's fight some undead. And
to be fair, he did not know we were going to fight undead the moment we opened the door.
I mean,
it was a reasonable assumption, but he didn't say there's undead on the other side of this door, but he did seem awfully interested in getting behind that door once he learned that it was a shrine.
Well, and Franco was thinking, ooh, distraction, shiny distraction, something that's not depression.
Well, see, our mistake was we failed to check the door's temperature to see if it was cold and thus contained bad ideas.
Oh man, that was a callback.
You're welcome.
Chris does not know what you're talking about. They all bad.
Keep your talking shit about my bad ideas away from me.
I was the one that named it the cold door of bad ideas. What are you stealing credit for?
Clarion freaking Thundershock, like Thunderwave, like everyone. So we're not that good.
No. It's even when tired, we still Kretha, Calder, and Meepo raffle stomped a pair of some undead that were at a shrine, and while annoyed, Calder is ultimately just can't stay mad at his adorable little lizard friend.
The original module encounter, as a peek behind the curtain, was two ogre skeletons and the white. I got rid of the second ogre skeleton because I felt that would balance the encounter a little bit more. I'm really glad with how it turned out mechanically, and I thought that it went really well thematically as well.
Speaking of thematically, on the other end of the game.
Yes. So after Lore, you and Charlotte decided that the job was done, basically. Yeah.
Yeah. To their approximation, they got all of the info they got out of that last Grey Dwarf was what they came for.
Yeah, for sure.
So we made a very good meta call, and we split the party.
After the party had already been split.
More or less.
I can see in no way why this carefully laid plan could possibly go awry.
And so, Laura and Charlotte began working their way out of the Forge of Fury. We got all the way out of the exit that Kretha told us about.
Yeah.
Not trying to go back up the chimney, but out the secret northern entrance, and had a lot of really cool conversations on the way.
Yeah, for sure.
So good.
I also got stabbed.
Yeah, we got there, saw that there was like an entire army out there, started to rethink some things, and Lore had a cool conversation with her patron.
Yes, that was an extremely well done scene that I really enjoyed watching, especially on the rewatch on Saturday, which we'll be doing this Saturday as well at 10 a.m. Yes, natural plug. That whole conversation I really like the dynamic between Charlotte and Lore. And Lore, remind us mechanically what the result was of that particular encounter.
I took just above minimum damage, so 8 points of damage, which decreased my maximum health by 8, which sucks because now I have a level 4 character's hit points. And you made it so that I am bleeding, which is fine, but isn't really going to do any mechanical issues.
No.
And I have been switched from a summer Eldrin to an autumn, which does, of course, if you can see my cool ass background.
Hence the amazing background.
I don't do full costuming. I don't have energy for that, but for sure. But it does mean that Lore's personality has done a swapsies, so we'll see how that goes. Also, this image is the incorrect colors, and I will fix it later.
Remind me really quick, Eldrin and Elvish culture regard autumn as a time of friendship and happiness, yes?
So the details of autumn are generally along the direction of peace, goodwill, like that's like what autumn is like a harvest time, friendship, sharing things.
Community.
Yeah, it's so like spring is cheerfulness and celebration and like joy and merriment and such. Summer is boldness and aggression, which can be just like angry all the time, and then winter is contemplation and dollar. So
makes sense. Glad to see. I really liked the end of that particular scene, and it also changed the type of weapon that you summon from a flame tongue to a necrotic damage, because fall is also a time where much of nature is dying, just before winter. And it seemed like the most appropriate damage type to add. So it's a necrotic tongue now instead of a flame tongue.
Yeah, I'm changing that so it says it on the.
Good call. By the way, Jeff, I also upgraded your what's it? The frost blast? Not the frost blast. Frostbite. That's what it was called. I upgraded the damage on that in your sheet, so you should get the 2d6 now.
Because it's supposed to be upgraded.
Yes, I have gone ahead and done that.
Thank you.
Are there any other mechanical things? And also, by the way, since we're talking, chat, you are welcome to jump in with any questions or any comments for us. We will take the last hour of the stream to answer any questions that anyone has, not just then, but anytime between now and then. We're going to try to avoid interacting with chat too frequently in scene because we want to make sure to keep the flow of things going. But stick around until the end, and even if you don't, you can come to our rewatch on Saturday or just watch the VOD on your own time, and we will answer your question so long as you make it sometime between now and the end of the stream. So, wanted to throw that out there.
One more point of order, which, in retrospect, we probably should have expected.
What's that?
The infestation spell has the exact same damage rules as the frostbite.
Ah, yes, indeed.
We should have, in retrospect, expected that.
All good. I can fix that right now. Are there any other? Because that's exactly what I was about to ask. Are there any other questions or mechanics or anything that we need to cover before we get going?
We did have a thing that we wanted to go over meta-wise at the beginning of this session, a little refresher on
safety tools.
Yeah, safety tools for general roleplay.
That makes sense to me. We will start by reminding folks, and it's been a while since we did this, so it's probably a good idea that we at least mention it again, that we did have a questionnaire from the very, very beginning where we listed anything that was green, it's okay to use, yellow, use it but with caution and content warnings, and then red, it doesn't happen at all regardless. And we did that way back at
and blue,
session 0.
I don't care.
And then blue is I don't care one way or the other. Good point. And then we had that all the way back at session 0 of the Sunless Citadel, which you can find at youtube.com/gamingmathematically. Yes, another perfectly natural plug.
If you say it's a perfectly natural plug, it makes it not natural anymore.
Well, now the bit's ruined. Okay. But yeah.
It was a dirty 20, not a natural 20.
Yeah, definitely. Fix it.
So that was one bit of safety that we've got. But it's not the only one. We also have tools that we can use in the moment. Em, why don't you start us out?
So there's a couple of different tools. Now we haven't like needed to use them because we do discussions like after and such. But things that are a lot of people use is like an X card, just like I need this to stop, which I think has been used, just like an X don't. A lot of the things that we went over in the very beginning have been avoided, except for, of course, like my absolute hate of mold and fungus and stuff, which is just like the entire Glitterhame is that, and I'm just suffering in silence. But at least we're not getting into like the super nitty gritty disgusting part, because that, for me, the
Glowing
other
trees, fine. But
like,
clickers
glowing
from
trees,
Last of Us,
fine.
no.
You tell me that they're fungusy gross stuff, please stop. Thank you. The thing that I think that we will be using in the future going forward is the pause for a second statement, to just pause a scene to have a conversation about that scene right away. Because sometimes having a discussion out of game during a scene is more important than the scene continuing necessarily. Just Rob, I know that you've done Nordic LARPs, and having like a little bit of the like negotiation.
Yeah, totally.
It's pause for a second is an indication that I need to have a negotiation right now. And I think that's a good, useful one.
I agree.
So
Anybody else have any other specific safety tools that they wanted to highlight before we move on? Because I agree, this is important stuff. We also have a once a week off game, off stream chat where we talk about stuff and sort of make sure we've all landed on the same page. So that's another, I think that is a necessary safety tool because it increases communication between players and such. It also leads to better stories, I think. So that's another sort of proactive thing that we try to do to keep things safe for everybody. But as always, we'll try to put content warnings before anything that needs it.
that we remember.
That we remember.
I'm always a fan of the Rule Zero talk, so good.
Absolutely. Okay. Well, if that is that, let's go ahead and jump into the game.